Thank you very much, Professor Bartfai, and thank you for the organizers giving me the opportunity to share something which I am not sure about, but I guess that if we start to talk, we will be more and more uncertain. So, artificial intelligence is something which is with us, even we don't know about it. In September, there was a paper published in Lancet where mammography screens were compared by experts and the machine. And the grouping was that first one expert analyzed the mammograms. The next step was that two independent investigators, after it the artificial intelligence, after it one human and one artificial intelligence, at the end three very good experts. So they involved almost 56,000 mammographic pictures, and the outcome was that when the artificial intelligence ranked, it overestimated the positive cases only by 4%. So therefore, performed biopsies, and the result was not significant between human and the artificial intelligence-based Röntgen machine. So therefore, we are at the moment that in the everyday medical practice, the artificial intelligence is existing. On the other hand, we are afraid, we are full of skepticism, because we don't know how to handle this new situation. So, what is the engine behind such a boom? I made a print yesterday from the Web of Science, when there is listed how many papers were published on the issue artificial intelligence and medicine. And you can see on the graph that during the last 5 years, more than 1,000 papers were published a year. 5 years ago, almost no. So what can be the engine behind? Of course, something has changed during the COVID era. Something has changed during the last 5 years in the world, and medicine is deeply involved. So the computer science now has almost unlimited opportunities. Mathematicians, data scientists, and the so-called domain-specific knowledge, for example, medicine, pharmacology, biology, they are all involved, and I can tell that they are heavily dependent on the artificial intelligence. Everyone had a dream when started his or her career, because everyone is able to judge his or her personal capabilities. And when I started to think about how to handle this enormous data which is available, I never thought that a machine will beat Garry Kasparov, the world champion in chess. And it was only a minor step. The major step was in the development of artificial intelligence, when the Go play, which is more complicated than the chess, and the world champion was beaten or defeated by the machine immediately. Now it is a question where to go and why to go in this direction, and how to handle this situation, which can be harmful and can be our friend. So one can state now that artificial intelligence has been much faster progressed than any of us anticipated. Lately, the last week when I prepared for this talk, I checked the literature and found that the last week, the FDA approved additional 171 medical device, which is artificial intelligence based. In this left-hand side, you can see that AI, ML, machine learning enabled medical devices. The number of them is over now 700. 700 machines are with us in the everyday life, in the medical rooms everywhere, which use artificial intelligence, and almost no one is knowing what's going on. Because some is thinking, okay, if you feed the data, laboratory data, the artificial intelligence can do something. But the interesting issue is that there are self-learning programs which don't need any initial data. They have 2,000 chest X-rays and says that 5 of them is not fitting to the pattern. And no one can say what is not fitting into the pattern. And if a radiologist says, okay, these people have TB, because they were not fitting in the group. And in this situation, can we do anything with the artificial intelligence in medical education? You can see on this right-hand side figure that publications and attempts are booming, so we cannot bypass it in the curriculum. Furthermore, there are med schools, they do have already guidelines for artificial intelligence. Why? Because a doctoral work can be done within 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour with the help, and no one is recognizing that it was done by AI. The Springer published this year a heavy book. I have the online access, and it is trying to say that, okay, in the medicine there is no specialization which doesn't use or won't use artificial intelligence. Just try to make the students to understand how to deal with it. And I guess this is from yesterday or the day before yesterday, when the Nature published a very fascinating paper, when a US scientist said that, formerly I hated to write grant application. It took weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Now I did it by the ChatGPT, and it is a lot better than I ever thought that it would turn out. So, therefore, we are at the moment that we have to discuss, but it is not enough. We have to go into details. And that other aspects I'd like to tell you. Today, the market in the artificial intelligence, which is mainly driven by the big companies like the Google, the Microsoft, etc., it is around $250 billion. And the increase in 5 years will be 10 times. And if you compare how much is going into the medicine, you can see also this enormous investment. So somewhere, somehow, for some people, this is a good investment. But if you think another thing, the entire energy use all over the world in 2030, half of it will be to feed the computers. So this is a prediction. So why shall we take it seriously? The medical knowledge is expanding very quickly. Now, in 50 years ago, the doubling time was maybe 10 years. Now it is 73 days. This is something which we cannot handle. But the other problem is that the doubling time of the medical knowledge is 70 couple days. But penetration into the everyday practice takes about 10, 15 years. So it cannot be done. It cannot be, this luxury cannot be handled because the taxpayers or the stakeholders invest, and the penetration into the system is very slow, mainly because of the lack of knowledge. So here I also made a figure where I showed that zettabyte, 10 on the 21, is the data which is generated. It means that for every living person, it is 0.15 terabyte data. So if you have this terabyte is able to handle everything. So let's go a little bit, how does it work? The artificial intelligence is a very complicated system which has tasks, for example, answering questions, recognizing images. So now the artificial intelligence can easily distinguish between a picture painted by Delacroix and Rubens, because it can recognize it. Recognize generating content. Most of the music you listen on cartoons are made by artificial intelligence. No composers are doing so. And a lot of robots are, even the robots can communicate with each other. They have found some robotic language. So of course, artificial intelligence is technology. And machine learning could be several types. I don't go into details, but one is supervised when we tell the instructions, self-supervised when halfly we tell the instructions, but let the system run, and there is a learning which is reinforced. And therefore, since there are many, many feedback mechanisms, it can result in very effective results. So I don't go also details how to cluster, how to make registers, but look at the right-hand side. The machine learning can make this grouping very well. So why to involve it in the medical education? There are so good patient simulators which cannot be replaced now. You cannot find any volunteer who is laying on a table and 21 medical students examine at the same circumstances. There are specialized programs where these are devoted for medical students, and they can choose their own pace, how to learn, individual training. Adaptive learning platforms, what does it mean? Medical education is something like all people have one size. Now we can try to, maybe we little bit trim it. But in this situation, you can have feedback and you can have your own training program till the end. Chatbots, you can ask questions, you can get very, very good and precise answers. And I guess that this conference is also a platform for global medical collaboration. The same problems exist everywhere. So we have also the problems with the minorities. And I guess that this is just the top of the iceberg, because many, many countries have more serious problems with this one. And how is the world prepared? We have many, many programs, but the implementation is very, very slow. So, and what are the advantages of this for teachers and professors? We can access the novelties in an ordered form. We can give personalized instructions to the students. And I guess we can use our time, which is fortunately 24 hours for each of us, better and more effectively. And at the end, yesterday I was curious and asked a very fitting question to this conference. So I asked the ChatGPT, could you help me with explaining the importance of egg-on dysphology in gynecology? And you can read the complete answer. He listed all his achievements, and I cannot read because my screen is. In summary, egg-on dysphology was a pioneering figure in gynecology and reproductive endocrinology, whose research and leadership had a profound impact on women's health, family planning, and the development of contraceptive methods. His work helped advance our understanding of the hormonal aspects of the menstrual cycle and paved the way for significant developments in the field of gynecology and reproductive medicine. So, and what is the take-home? I guess there is no way to bypass the artificial intelligence. It will generate new jobs. It enhances learning, improves our clinical skills, and I guess also it supports our continuous professional development. The funny thing is that asking is very difficult. And if you are talking to a machine, you have to ask very clear questions. Thank you for your attention.